Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV. Welcome to another 5 talking points video. In today's video, I'm going to be starting off by talking about Eden Hazard and the current situation with him today, where he did come out stating that he's in a dilemma between staying at Chelsea or going to Real Madrid. So I'm going to be going into depth with this one, so that's going to take up most of the time for today's video. I'm going to be talking about Kepa, I'm going to be talking about Barkley and his form, I'm going to be talking about Murata, and to end things, I'm going to be talking about whether the team is ready now for Sarri ball. You know what to do, smash that like button, help me get more than 500 likes for today's video, and press the bell notification button to stay tuned to all things Blue Lines TV. Now, starting with the main talking point for today's video, that's in regards to Eden Hazard. Now, yesterday he put in a masterclass against Southampton. It was kind of like a low-key masterclass because no one really got too gassed about it, and really that really excites me because in a way it's similar to Lionel Messi. You get to that level where you're so good that it becomes the standards where you have to put in 9 out of 10s or 10 out of 10s just so you can be part of that discussion again. People were talking about Kepa or Barkley as potential man of the matches, but for me it was always Eden Hazard because the guy basically won the game for us. But after recent quotes that have come out from the press in regards to Hazard, you can see why maybe people aren't focusing too much on his performance. Now, what are these quotes in case you don't know? Hazard basically came out stating that he's torn between signing a new contract at Chelsea or potentially leaving for Real Madrid to start a new adventure. Now, Hazard did address this situation with Courtois, stating that he wouldn't leave in the same manner. With Courtois, you know, he was kind of making up his mind every single time. But Hazard appreciates everything the club have done for him. He appreciates the fans, and he doesn't want to leave in bad terms if he ever decides he needs to go. But not all hope is lost just yet. Hazard stated that some days he feels like maybe Real Madrid is the right option for him. Other days he wakes up stating that yes, Chelsea is the right club for me. And it really got me thinking, why did Hazard at that point at the end? Now, of course, it could come across as him just trying to still appease himself to Chelsea fans, but there could be a deeper meaning behind things. You guys, you know how I do things. I'm going to paint for you a different picture, and hopefully you might come away from this feeling a bit more optimistic and a bit more positive. Now, it's not the first time that Chelsea have tried to get into contract talks with Eden Hazard, and he really hasn't entertained them as much. Makes a lot of sense, you know. The context of things at the time was pretty different, you know, no Champions League football, Conte was still here, and everyone was pretty unhappy behind the scenes at the club. So it made sense as to why Hazard wasn't going to entertain signing a new contract just yet. But Maurizio Sarri is here now. Hazard is playing fantastically well, and he's playing the type of football that he's always wanted to play. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here. Now think of it this way. What if Hazard is trying to put pressure on the club to get a record deal? Now, not just any type of deal where he'll be the best paid player at Chelsea, but a deal that will make him the best paid player in the league. Think of it like this. You saw the contract that Sanchez has signed. You look at guys like Ozil, guys like Harry Kane as well. Hazard is on 200k a week, but if you're the best player in the league, shouldn't you have wages that reflect that? Now, before some people start thinking, oh, Hazard shouldn't be demanding this or that, yes, he should. He's our best player. He is the best player in the league. He's been the reason why we've won things. And let's be serious, we just can't afford to lose the guy. But you might be thinking, why can't Chelsea just offer him whatever wages he wants? Well, you've got to consider this. If he was to be the best paid player in the league, you're looking at potentially a contract worth more than 350k a week, potentially 400k, maybe even 500k. Now, can Chelsea just get that money out from thin air and pay him? Of course not. Remember, it's a contract, it's going to be over multiple years, it's going to be worth tens of millions. And are Chelsea in the right position now to be able to give Hazard any type of contract he wants? Of course not. We don't have Champions League football, which has cost us a ton of money. And let's not forget, there's a lot of players that haven't been sold just yet. Look at someone like Cesc Fabregas. He's on 200k a week. Tons of money. The club can't get rid of him because no other club can get anywhere near the wages that Fabregas is getting. And let's not forget other players like Danny Drinkwater as well. And on top of that, other players want to get new contracts. You're looking at N'Golo Kante, who wants a much bigger contract. David Luiz wants an extension. Willian as well. Chelsea just can't afford to offer a massive contract like this just yet until time does go on. Now, think of it this way. imagine we have secured Champions League football, and imagine that we do win some trophies at the end of the season as well. That's going to paint an entirely different picture in the future. And if you're a player, it does make sense to really delay things, because the longer you delay, the more pressure you're going to put on Chelsea to offer you something phenomenal. So all I really can say to you guys is we have to be patient. Don't really take what you're reading in the press to heart. It's not that they're lying, of course, because Hazard himself said it, but it's not exactly painting the clearest picture. As Hazard himself did say, sometimes he wakes up and he dreams about Real Madrid, the club he's always dreamed of as a kid. Other times he wakes up and he thinks, Chelsea have done everything for my family love living here, and they even got rid of Antonio Conte. And come on, as the season goes on, things will only get more optimistic. And consider this, hypothetically. Imagine if Conte does become the new Real Madrid manager. Well, maybe Chelsea don't even have to offer Hazard 400k a week contracts. Moving on to the next talking point, that's in regards to Kepa. Now, you guys, you know my thoughts on Kepa. I've told you this so many times. I always knew that Chelsea fans would love this guy because of his acrobatic style, his confidence, and his distribution out from the back as well. And really, he's the perfect replacement for Thibaut Courtois, because the guy is a ball-playing goalkeeper, and he's the type of keeper that we do need for the system. Now, a lot of people have been saying that, oh, it's looking like Kepa is improving as a player, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I felt that he's had the same confidence throughout. It's only now that he's being tested a bit more, and this is where you're really seeing his acrobatic style. Looking at some of the recent saves he's made, especially against Southampton, phenomenal. The amount of concentration you need to keep to be aware and to be able to make those saves is amazing. And so far, Kepa is one of the most informed goalkeepers in the Premier League. But when I look at Kepa, I'm always talking about his confidence. The guy plays with his head up. He's constantly able to play under pressure. The backline feel very confident with him. He's great at distributing the ball. And in a way, it really reminded me of Petr Cech when he first signed for Chelsea. Now, during that time, during the 04-05 season, Cudicini was still the first choice goalkeeper. At the time, people weren't really sure if whether Cech would get in over Cudicini. But, and this is why I'm making the comparison, Cech had a really similar start to his season as Kepa is having right now. Quietly confident displays with a lot of quality as well, and the club did amazing business to sign this guy. And it makes you think, could Kepa be potentially better than Cech during that time? Time's gonna tell, but you guys, I'm feeling very, very confident about his abilities. Moving on to the third talking point, that's in regards to Ross Barkley. Now, a lot of people on this channel still keep constantly saying that I've got a vendetta against him. Honestly, I really don't. Of course, I'll admit, when we first signed the guy, I was a bit peeved because I was thinking long term. I was thinking, what does this mean for Ruben and Mason Mount? But last season, I did keep saying quite a lot that we have to sympathise with Ross Barkley because the guy barely has played. But, and I'm saying but because when it comes to pre-season, once you have a pre-season, in my opinion, it means that you refresh, you restart. So I think that we can't use that excuse against Ross Barkley anymore. Still, his display was promising. Now, yes, I know that Southampton weren't really pressing on midfield players. They did have time on the ball, but it's not the first time we've seen the team give some of our midfield players some space to play in, and Barkley hasn't really shined as much. Still, when he had the moments to be decisive, playing the pass to Hazard after winning back possession and being in the right position for that set piece, he did well, and you have to give him credit. Could the Southampton game give Barkley the confidence to really push on now? I think it's still quite early to say. Let's see what happens. My thing with Barkley's always been, he's not very press resistant. When he gets closed down from multiple angles, he loses the ball. He hasn't had much impetus in the final third as well. And I'm not really seeing him attacking the spaces as much. Yes, if there's massive oceans of space, you'll see him driving, but I want to see things like Barkley receiving the ball in the half turn, Barkley cutting inside and driving through. There's constant opportunities for Barkley to do this, which he isn't doing just yet. Is that down to confidence, or is that down to Barkley not feeling fully comfortable yet in the system? It could potentially be a bit of everything. Now, you might think I'm being harsh, which honestly, you guys, I really disagree with you. I critique players the same. If you're not performing, I'm gonna say, but you guys, you have to admit, I give contextual reasons as to why I think players aren't doing as well. You never hear me saying stuff like, oh, the guy's shit, he should leave the club. I never do that. I always give a reason, so you have to acknowledge him. Still, it's baby steps for Ross Barkley. He's on the right path. Of course, with Sarri having so much confidence in his ability, it looks like that's potentially getting to Ross Barkley as well. Getting called up for England is going to be a massive boost to his confidence. And I'm curious as to whether Barkley has created that platform for himself to really push on now. Moving on to the fourth talking point, that's in regards to Alvaro Murata scoring 2 goals in his past 2 games. I don't think any of us saw that happening. And in a way, international break coming right now is a bit of a blow because he was starting to get some type of momentum. Now, I was telling you guys, I personally felt that it would be great for Sarri to introduce Murata from the bench to really slowly help him build up that confidence. You know, normally as games do go on, there tends to be a bit more space, especially if we are taking the lead, and seeing the type of spaces and areas that Murata was getting into in that game against Southampton, that's the exact type of service that Murata wants. You know, you guys go to YouTube, look at the highlight compilations of Murata and the goals he has scored for Real Madrid. A lot of those goals are in very similar areas, and as I said, when Murata has space to play in and space to move into the channels, he starts to look a bit more confident. Still, it is great for Murata, and let's see now if he can start to push on. And to end on the final talking point, that's in regards to the team and if they have mastered Sarri ball. Now, I could be getting a bit too ahead of myself, but the reason why I say this is that we scored a goal yesterday in the 93rd minute where we completed 31 passes. Every player got a touch of the ball. It was phenomenal, quick passing from everyone on the pitch, and then that great play at the end to get the goal. That is peak prime Sarri ball. Look at the type of goals that Napoli was scoring under him. And that's the best Sarri ball goal that we have scored so far. And it's slowly been coming. You know, look at the goal we scored against Liverpool when we drew 1-1. Look how we circulated possession at the back and then created those vertical passing channels for guys to make quick passes and 1-2s with. And Murata scored it beautifully right at the end. That's amazing to see. And it's like, it's October, we've only been doing this for 2 months, and already look how far the team have come. And I think it's very, very exciting. I think with an international break, that could be quite useful in terms of players getting a rest. And honestly, you guys, I feel that once we get back from the international break, I expect the team to start scoring even more goals straight afterwards. But you guys, that's going to be the end for today's 5 talking points video. In the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions on everything I've been talking about. I want to hear what you guys think about what I've been saying about Eden Hazard. Let me know below. You guys, I'm going to keep it moving. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.